Okay, I'm trying for the sixth time. The mobile is being conked out today. I think there is a lot of interference. I don't know why, but perhaps because of the points that I was going to make in this video. Or maybe I haven't got enough space, I'm not sure, but I don't think so, because it starts up and then goes out. And already I am lost my concentration. Already I am talking loud. And already the matrix is completely on top, because I've started 6 times. So the points I made there, I cannot put those videos out because they're only a few minutes long. And there's so much traffic here that I think that they have the ability to influence. Yeah, the wrecker truck that went past, the harassing wrecker truck, that's what's written. And there's the resource truck. The resource trucks are full and fast everywhere, or on the roads everywhere, at least, where I go anyway. Must remember that this road, even here, and the one down the other side, and this is actually even acknowledged by the technically controlled matrix people or operatives, depending on how you want to see them, because I don't know the full story myself. But you know, like if I go down the road there, the traffic is like here, fairly thick and fast. But if you go a bit further down in either direction, the traffic is sparser and does not have traffic jams or a pile-up. That is because the matrix centres around, as we've said before, human beings only. Matrix people conglomerate in circle and try to basically control real life people. I know I'm not making any sense here because I can't hear myself hardly at all. And they've already put me off by so I'm totally bamboozled. But I might slowly move down. I didn't have trouble the other day, but I better keep talking because I might run out. I can't see too well what I'm filming. There are lights on many of those cars coming up, by the way, before I try to concentrate on what I'm going to say. There are lights, but they're probably not coming out. I'm not sure. Because this, as you can see, this is the middle of the day here. But I noticed when I checked the other video that even though there are lights on many of the cars, in the middle of the day, broad daylight, with the sun out, the sun is breaking through that cloud down there. But it doesn't matter, because the other day when I filmed, the sun was belting down. But I noticed that the lights were not coming out on the cars because the sun was so intense that although I can see the car lights very clearly, see, that's designed for me to see, for a human being to see. That's provided they want you to be aware of the matrix, or they know that you are already aware of it. Depends on what the situation is. I was made aware of it because when you start to see some things, they're afraid of you breaking through and seeing too much of the matrix, because then you won't play, as I've said before, or you won't play the way they want you to play. Although actually that's not totally true for myself, because that depends on how much they play. They prefer to play hidden and in the dark. In other words, where you're in the dark and they're hidden, so they can play you and play you at a level where you are not aware that you are being played at all. But once you see a few things, then the Matrix will come down on you at full force and expose its matrix to you. Because at that point, for the people that the matrix comes down on and targets them and doesn't mind showing that it's a control system matrix that operates around you. That is only designed for some human beings, those where they know that they have to expose their matrix because they want to control you at a higher level, so that whereas the subtle controlling, where you think it's just all your own life and it's all your own fault, or that just negative circumstances randomly happen, they know that that is not going to control you enough at this end of the time situation. I do not know what I'm talking about here because I'm getting bamboozled. See, that's it's starting to rain too, I think. Oh, goodness gracious. As usual, I'm going to be look, I'm just going to keep. So we have matrix lights on these cars coming down. I'll just do this for a second. See how the motorbiker's got the big bright light? And I think that I should. See, I don't. Okay. I'm going to stand back here. Look, we have a truck pulled up there that's parked over there flashing its lights, but it will not come out on the video. It will not come out. Okay, so I'm going to film it from this angle. See, that is I'm going to film it from this angle. Hope that the lights are coming. I'm going to tell you, that car in front has no lights. The car behind and the four cars behind have lights, two without, two with, one without, two with, three with, one was very dim, but I can see it, one without, three with, four with, five with, six without, 7, 8, 9, 10 with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without, 6. Oh, I can't keep it up. I can't actually keep on track. And it's too hard for me to see them all. So try again. I've got that. I'm in the wrong spot here, I think. I should be just a little bit further up to get the car lights. 1, 2, flashing at me. Truck with lights. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 with lights, 2 without lights, 3 without lights, 4 with lights, 5 without, 6 truck without, 2 with lights, 3 with lights, 4 without, 5 with, 6, 7 without, 2 with, 1 without, 1 with, 1 without, 2 with. There is actually spits of rain coming down. Now, I wouldn't have thought that was going to happen, but I can see one with very bright lights in the distance, but when it comes past, they will be dimmer. As it comes up, as the car lights come up closer, they get dimmer, but in the distance, they come over quite bright. Now, I'm going to turn around here because I'm getting intimidated. And I know that might sound silly to say that, but I actually do feel intimidated. even though I've done it before, and even though I go out into it every day, but it's still a lot more difficult filming it, only in the sense that you know that they know. It actually takes my concentration off them slightly more if I'm filming. So it's a bit of a double situation. Now, if this thing is still working, which I'm not sure, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying to love it, it's not working. It's not working. It's raining too. So where do all these trucks come from? I know that Matrix people will give me an explanation, but that is because they cover for the Matrix. They know that, and sometimes the Matrix does serve many purposes with what it does. In other words, it may do some construction, but it uses the construction trucks to be on the road as well, because they probably have many, many trucks. Now, look, I don't know what I'm talking about here, and I'm getting bad pieces, I have to admit. That is, see how that fella in the previous video, which I'll have to delete though because it only went for a minute before the thing conked out. He was filming like I do, which you never see people doing, the signs. That's because Matrix people are technically controlled, and they are just backing up here, out of earshot, because okay, they're moving outside. I don't like it if they pull up and they've got their windows down, especially while I'm saying that they are technical beings. Because they're technical beings, and therefore they actually do not have human qualities in any way. This is hard to comprehend. It took me a lot of adjusting to it. In fact, I've not adjusted to it and never could or never would. But dump it, that truck said. Probably like to dump me, or maybe they're telling me to dump it. I don't know, but they do put the things on the trucks. But either way, I'm getting sidetracked. The reason that technical person was filming the writing on the wall and on the trucks like I do, which I do, is because they're not real people. They follow the actions of human beings in order to blend into this reality and basically take it over. And basically take over human beings. Because if you are in this reality and you don't realise that most of what is around you is not the same as yourself, but they appear to be, then that gives them control over you, over the few human beings, because that we are vastly outnumbered at this end time situation in our areas. Whether we are vastly outnumbered overall is something I don't know. I only know that in my own personal situation the numbers are astronomical. But that is because they converge on human beings if they know that you are aware of this. So it's like that. You know, if I wasn't aware, there wouldn't be as much traffic on the road here. And, you know, because they could control you more subtly without being in your face and being overly aggressive to where, you know, to where you're not playing with them. I can't explain that very well. But, yeah, that's the reason that they take that they watch human beings and follow their actions and antics. But what I'm trying to say is, because they don't really understand what they're actually following or what they're copying, shall we say, in order to blend in, they sometimes get it muddled up. You know, because they're trying to be something they're not. Now, this is where someone said to me many, many, many years ago that they were a person, a gentleman that wore many hats. Many hats. I thought that was strange. In other words, they put on a different hat in different circumstances. This is the Matrix. The Matrix is like that. Every person that you see wears a hat, but that hat is just, it's like if you go to school, you wear a school hat, but you may or may not really go to school. Or you might wear a hat, a furry hat, because you're in a cold climate, so you might be of that country or that particular region. But you might come from somewhere else, but you might put that hat on while you are in that region so that you fit in and blend in. And also, I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I'm losing it out here. I'm losing my concentration out here. Okay, so I am wearing at the very moment, but I can't show you because I've got the phone around the wrong way. I had to do that because I was losing transmission when I had it here. You could see. No doubt that is Matrix interruption or interception, so that although I'll make the video, it won't be as I intended to make it, because I always come down here or start making a video with intention to say or show something that I think will make some sort of practical sense in an essentially false, impractical, irrational, out of touch, unbalanced, insane reality, because it is controlled largely by technical people. Technical people are out of balance or not rational in comparison with real human beings, because they don't think the same way. That is why they have to put on false hats and wear many hats in the reality and pretend to be real. When I say real, to pretend to be like the real life humans in order to, suppress them covertly, secretly. They prefer to remain hidden. if they can. The only way they can not be hit is when they come out in full force with total control at most levels, which is what is happening to many people at this time, many real life people at this time, I would imagine. Now, I've got a camouflage hat on my head at the moment to protect me because there is a bit of rain coming. No, I did not buy it. I found it and I've washed it a million times and still can't get it clean. Because, you know, the camouflage hats are like, they look like army hats, okay? You probably know what I mean. They're like green and yellow, so you're not meant to be able to see you. That's right. You know, like those that you oppose are not meant to be able to see you. You know, but I don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is that I've lost. 3 points I had to make. Cannot make them. I've put some stuff in my ears so that I can't hear the traffic noise. I don't know if it's very loud anyway. It may or may not be. Some days it's particularly loud to where it's very suppressive. Irritating. Annoying, but see, there are lights. They're not going to come out, but there are lights on many of those cars and on the bus. I think I'll have to go around. What I'm trying to say is that the reason that we don't realise that we have been taken over by a different group of people, a technical group of people, an artificial group of people that do not relate to real humans, but pretend to relate to them, pretend to be the same as them in order to gain resources from them as that the amount of resource trucks that go past resources. Because human beings are a resource for this group. This group wears many hats. This group is the controlling force or the controlling beings of the Matrix, and this group, which is most of what you see around you, operate for the God entity of this Matrix. They are God entities, children or relatives, in a blunt kind of way. So, you have an artificial God with artificial children that present in an organic form in this reality, even though the whole reality is really technical and artificial. Despite that sun up there which is breaking through onto me, I think the sun might be the best part of most of my videos, unfortunately. I should just to show how believable the reality is made for the human life. That's the best way I can put it. I have to use words like technical, I have to use words like human, I have to use words like life and non-life, because they're very distinct, but you have to use words to make your point or to differentiate between people. It's like some people have blonde hair and some people have black hair, so that differentiates their hair color. And you can remember them and take notice of them. Otherwise, everyone would look the same. Most of these people of the Matrix are actually the same. They are not individual, real-life people. They are all connected to one another, just as real human beings are connected by their association with what they originally were, or where they originally came from, or how they originally came into existence. But that is only relating, of course, to this reality or the Matrix, I'm guessing. Because the Matrix and this Earth Matrix reality is not everything, is it? But it's what I only know. And that is part of the ignorance of the you're ignorant. And simple-minded like I am to everything around me. Because, you're told the story about what the Earth Matrix is, that it's a natural, random world that just happened, and that you just happened, and that everything just happens. Whereas in reality, it is a staged, controlled reality. Let's see, I'll just diverge for a second here. I know I'll have to make another video. This is a failed one here. Please don't watch it. I'm not making enough relevant points. I meant to make more. I don't think that the lights are going to come out on the cars. They are there, so I'll have to speak over it. But I think that if I can't back it up with the visuals, but you'd have to be interested enough to study the videos closely to see the lights on the cars. So, this reality is designed to take over the real life human beings that are here by making them believe that the reality is different to what it really is, and making them believe that they don't have any input into the reality. because all these technical vehicles that are around, all of them, are only about controlling this reality. But because the human unintentionally affects the reality, they have to control the human being. Whether that be just controlling the fact that you don't see the reality as the artificial control system that it actually is. And don't realise that possession is essentially a technological entity taking over an organic body, or what appears to be an organic body. And even that is something that even I am not fully in comprehension of, but I'm starting to grasp it, unfortunately. Because already exists and is the entire reality. Or at least it is the entire human reality, because like I say, whether you know it or not, this reality is controlled by an artificial life presence. And it exists. But, you see the trees over there, I pointed that out before, and they are so-called nature. What are they? Or is that what the artificial reality wants me to believe? So that I think that it is my place and where I'm meant to be. I certainly don't make it feel like it's so uncomfortable. But that's the whole thing, is that there are many human beings who are still striving to stay in this reality and see this reality as their home, and therefore they're protective towards it. They're protective towards something that is not theirs, or that if it is theirs, it no longer is. I would imagine that it has not been theirs for a long, long time. Okay. I'm shouting here, I'm sorry, because I can't hear myself talk. Because, I thought that if I put something in my ears that it would muffle the traffic distracting me, even though I want to film it. So I wanted to make a combined video where I talk a bit of, for once, talk a little bit of rational sense, because I make these videos to try to show this matrix, which is not rational and is artificial and is definitely not logical or beneficial or sensible in any way for a human being, no, because it operates to suppress a human being, to limit a human being, merely so that it can then take over a human being, take over the human beings that are still unaware of this hidden reality, the hidden reality that it's completely it's made up of fairy tales, and they want you to believe their fairy tale, not the reality of the fairy tale, not the darker side of the fairy tale, merely to believe. But at the same time, they do incorporate much darkness into this reality, gradually, so that you accept darker things. Darker things are like negative things for a real person. I am not even concentrating on the traffic. I'm not concentrating on what I'm saying. I do not know what is happening around me. I've lost the point of my conversation. This is how they want you to be in this reality. And as I said before, successful, because, look, I had only 2 or 3 simple points for you. I know that most people turned the video off half an hour ago. And so if I do get my thoughts collected or a bit of concentration off the artificial and onto natural, which is really only, my mind is only really natural, because so much of the reality has taken the natural from me. Someone said to me, a gentleman that I've communicated with since they subscribed to my little videos here a couple of years ago. Communicated to me recently that they could no longer hear their heartbeat. And I didn't take it in that moment, because, yes, I'm, even to have a conversation with a real person, you're so centered on yourself and your experiences in this matrix that you don't take things, you don't communicate comfortably. You don't communicate relaxed like you should. But you do remember, provided the phone connection is not too is clear, because that's another thing too. Sometimes you don't hear every word on the telephone if it's from overseas. But see, the matrix people, they don't have a heart. They don't feel their heart beating. And now we can't feel ours either. It's not there. After yeah. After no, I can't. My heart is not beating either. I put my hand on my heart a few hours ago. It was not it's not beating. Everything you see in front of me is not beating. Why is my heart not beating in this reality? Why did my heart used to beat? What has happened to it? That is the core. The technical papers want the human beings to stay in their technical artificial reality. And so they wish for them to be like them. Because, this reality is not about having all different types of people splashed all over the reality or over the earth, and everyone getting on and sharing and combining. It looks like that, but that is only because the illusion of the reality is that there are many different types of people and they're all different. Whereas the real reality is there are two basic types of people. There's real spiritual human beings and non-live, artificial, technical people. All in an organic type body, or an apparent organic type body. This is not the same body that was around as Sean Thomas Yearwood. That's the gentleman who mentioned that he couldn't feel his heart beat. Because I didn't react to that at the time, even though it was only a few days ago. But I put my hand on my heart. Because I remember a few years ago, in the old reality, what I call the old reality, I could feel my heart beating very rapidly, and if you got a bit excited, you could almost hear it pounding. But it would only be your heart. It wouldn't be like a stress that's now all over our entire body. It would be think I can put this video out. It's not. It's no good.